First of all, I just want to thank the House for giving me the opportunity to discuss the proposed transfer of services from St. Mary's Orthopedic Hospital to the South Infirmary. Just for those deputies who are unaware of the hospital, it's located on the north side of Cork City, and it's on a big green area. There's plenty of space around it to develop services and to expand them. It has one of the lowest infection rates of any hospital in the state, and it has ample room for parking. And it's an orthopaedic hospital, as I said, so it's ideal for orthopaedic patients, given the space that's up there. It's also on a bus route, and it's very near to local services. Now, under the reconfiguration plan, the proposal is to move those services to the South Infirmary, which is a city centre hospital, which has very little space. Actually, it has no space. It has no car parking space. It's in a cramped site, and it's very difficult to access. Now, this makes no sense whatsoever. But when you consider the fact that when they want to move the services from the orthopaedic to the South Infirmary, they're actually going to have less orthopaedic beds. Now, that really makes no sense. Now, prior to the election, there was a promise made by Fine Gael, and actually the words, and I quote, were a cast iron guarantee that if they were in government, this hospital would be kept open and services would not be transferred. And this was a cast iron guarantee that the Minister, James Riley, supported. Now, I checked, because there has been some debate since the election whether there was a promise or a cast iron guarantee given, or whether there was a promise to have a review. So I went back and I checked the statements that were made prior to the election, and I listened to the radio debates, and actually there was no mention of a review. The statements that were made were that if Fine Gael were in government, this hospital would stay open and services would not be transferred. And as a result, people feel very betrayed. And in my opinion, there's a U-turn happening here. Now, I also believe that the review which is undertaken at the time, or which is currently being undertaken, is a bit of a sham. And there's a number of reasons for that. We've yet to find out what the terms of reference for the review are. We've yet to find out who's carrying out the review, how long it's going to take, will patients be consulted, will members of staff be consulted, and when will the review actually report and a decision be made on the transfer of services. And the reason those questions are very important, Minister, is because while James Riley has said that the services will not be transferred while this review is taking place, and I accept that, what is happening on the other hand is that the work in the South Infirmary to get ready to accept the services when a decision is made to transfer them is ongoing. So we now have a situation where we're being told on one hand that the review has halted the transfer of services pending a review, but at the same time, the very review which he has ordered is being undermined by the fact that work is ongoing at the alternative site. The operation theatres are being constructed, work is still going ahead, and we're going to get to a stage that unless the work at the South Infirmary is halted while this review is taking place, that it's actually going to become financially viable to transfer services. And the people in my constituency are angry at that. So the work that's undergoing at the South Infirmary has to cease now. And as I said, there is a perception out there that, and to be honest, I think it's a fair perception, and I met with hospital workers last week, and we all share the same opinion that this review is potentially just a smokescreen, that the government want to get to a situation where work has progressed so far down the line at the other site that we have no choice but to transfer services. And I know that people in my constituency would like some reassurances that that is not the case. I mean, Cork North Central, for the last 14 years, has been neglected under a Fianna Fáil government. And they voted for change. We have new TDs representing that constituency. And Dara is in the chamber today, Deputy Murphy. along with myself, were returned to this chamber because people were tired of Fianna Fáil government. They were tired of the broken promises. They were tired of no investment going into this constituency, and they wanted something different. So there's no way that the people that I represent are going to take this decision lying down. And I think, you know, the time for political rhetoric has now ended. I put in a written question 2 weeks ago to the Minister to ask him these questions, and I got back an answer. To be honest, it wasn't what the paper was written on. And the questions that I want answered, and the question I think that the people of Cork North Central deserve to have answered here today, and you know, I'm not interested in scripted responses. I mean, the whole reason I asked for this adjournment debate was so I could pose these questions and we could get answers on them, because people want clarity on the issue. And the questions are: what are the terms of reference for the review? Who is carrying out the review? When will it start? When will it finish? When will the Minister publish the findings? And will the review consult with patient groups and members of staff? And we also want a cast iron guarantee, ironically, that the Minister will give a commitment to stop work at the South Infirmary site pending this review.